Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman, Handy Andy On Demand, our small repair division. We've been out here for almost 30 years. It's hard to believe. We are out today in East Cobb, Marietta, reviewing inspection repairs. This time we are actually out for the seller who has gotten an inspection report, an amendment from the potential buyer. So they have the house under contract, and now they're trying to negotiate the price of some of these repairs. You know, and it's so hard for homeowners because this owner has been meticulous in doing a lot of his own maintenance and paying people here and there and getting disgusted with the work when he paid people. So he just figured out how to do some of it himself. And so we're only looking at the issues that are spelled out in the amendment as agreed to between the buyer and the seller. And so there's other things you may see as we go through this video that you're saying, oh, well, Andy missed that. Well, that's not why I'm here. So there's a few things going on, and we'll go through it in best order that we can. But one of the spots, and when people get home inspections, it's so hard for the home inspectors because they're trying to be as thorough as possible. We know the inspector who did this one, and he's like an engineer. He's very precise, he's very thorough, but they don't know the whole history of the house, and they can't take the time to sit and figure causation of some of the things that they're noting. So in this area here, the inspector noted that in the crawl space, there's some efflorescence and there's a little bit of dampness against the wall, and he's right, and they don't need a French drain out here. They don't need Trotter or AquaGuard to come out and do a water system. What we need to do is go ahead and take this downspout away in this gutter and reverse it. So we're going to replace that gutter right here and wrap the corner and bring a new downspout down the side of this column where it'll drain to the driveway. And it'll actually, when he redid this driveway, they created a nice little swale effect right here, so the water runs to the back of the yard and away from the house. So that's the only way to get this out of here. Years ago, they put underground drains in here. This one right here, I'm sure it's clogged. And when any water that gets in this corner right here, it just can't move. So it just sits up against the foundation and hydrostatic pressure builds on it. And there you have it. So that's one issue. We're gonna go around the house real quick and catch some of this rotted wood. So we got one quarter board right here has been repaired before, and because it wasn't back primed and sealed, it's rotted again. So we'll come back in and redo that. He's got a piece here and there. It's a little easier to see it without the sun on it like it was earlier today. So this fascia board right here behind the gutter over this column needs to be repaired. We got a little bit of molding behind on this right column right here. It needs to be repaired. This 5/4 board at the left garage. Some of the siding here, there's 3 or 4 rows where see how the edge is choppy right through here. And he's got the same thing on the dormers. And again, we're only looking at what the inspector talked about. So right here, this is masonite siding. It's composite siding. It's basically hardboard siding. So we'll place 2 bottom rows here, 2 rows on the front, and 2 rows on the other side. We'll end up doing the same thing on each one of these dormers. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up. Seems like almost every time we come out here, it's getting ready to rain. It's just been the way it was. So we got the same issue on this dormer, 2 on the front, 2 on the sides. Same with the other 2 here. Most of the trim up here is in pretty good shape. The corner right here of this gutter, that fascia board needs to be repaired, and we'll secure that gutter against the house. The inspector noted a little bit of moisture in this. There's a little separate crawl space area underneath this porch with a hatch entrance into it. There's no way to vent it, so any moisture that comes through the ground is just going to get in there. It's probably not a bad idea to put a vapor barrier in that area. A little bit of soil has cleaved off. There's no reason for helico supports underneath this porch. It's fine. There's no structural damage to it at all. We would suggest that at some point, the metal girders that support this thing, they need to be painted with Rust-Oleum. He's got the same thing under this portion of the crawl space. There's 7 or 9, I think 9 metal posts in this area on the crawl space that just need to be cleaned and painted with Rust-Oleum. They're not rusted through. The inspector thought they were, but they're not. There's another piece of fascia board right above this octagon window. It's been repaired before. It's gonna be hard to see it in here, but right in this area right here is rotted. So we'll take it back to the joint. It's about 8 feet, I think. And you know, the difference between us and a lot of guys, most contractors just slap up a piece of wood and prime and paint what you see. Every piece of trim on a house has 6 faces, and if you don't prime and seal all 6 faces, it's gonna rot at some point. So you can see kind of how this flows around this way. Gorgeous setting. This house is on over 3 acres. So if you're looking for a very unique property, you can give us a call and we'll point you in this direction, just in case this deal doesn't come together. But I'm pretty sure this is a done one. So this is the left rear corner. Someone in the past has put Bondo here and it's rotten through, so we'll repair that again. Most of the siding is in very good shape. The deck is a little bit of an issue, and sometimes when you try to save money, it bites you in the butt later on. And so originally this deck was a lot smaller, and the homeowner is actually the builder of this home. And so after he built it, he decided he'd build this gorgeous screen porch back here, and they put terracotta tile on top of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We got a little bit of rot in this corner right here where it just happens to catch some water behind the screen door. The inspector noted that the flashing is shot, and it is. Flashing, it said galvanized flashing, and it's only good for about 20 years, and we're past that. So where the homeowner installed this wooden strip here, we'll go ahead and pull that all the way around, and we'll come back in with a pressure-treated beveled flashing plate, which obviates the need for flashing anyway. The trick with this deck is that originally it was a much smaller deck, and he hired a contractor to expand it. And I'm not really sure why the contractor did this, but he basically ran new 5/4 board over the top of 2x6 pressure treated. And so by doing that, you trap moisture between the levels. And if you come in here and look in certain areas, you can see where all this debris is clogged. I've kind of stirred it up with my screwdriver. But everywhere you see that clogged, he's got 2x6 lumber underneath it. And so we're gonna have to pull this 5/4 board up to these joints back here. So we'll have this jogged pattern like he has here. We're gonna pull those up. Chances are we're not gonna be able to salvage any of it. We'll try and turn it over, and if we can, we'll give him a credit on the lumber. This is old growth lumber, and I hate to tear it up, but you have to. There's a lot of weakness in this deck, and there's a section right through here where it's totally rotted through. It's rotted through the 2x6s. Someone's cut a section of it out at one point in time to try and stem the rot, and it's just continued to rot because you're trapping moisture between the 2 layers of wood. And if you look closely, you can see lots of carpenter ants running around in here because they're living in that stuff. It's moist. They don't have to go anywhere. You know, they hike out to go see their friends across the neighborhood, and then they can come back here to home where they can just eat and sleep in the wood. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here. I'll show you a little bit of it from below. Up here, there's not a lot up here. This piece of siding right here, whenever we do masonite siding like this, we've got to do 2 rows. So this is hardy underneath it, but see that little divot right there? We'll have to replace these 2 rows across to this corner. There's a little bit of rot over here in this garage door, right here on the right side, that brick mold there. There's a little bit of rot on the kitchen skylight, and what you want to always look for is the wrinkle. And so if you're looking here, you can see the wrinkle area right here. You actually see a little hole in it where Mr. Ant's making a little home. And then this piece right here, but just the top pieces need to be replaced. And again, we'll back prime and seal them so it won't rot again. And we'll try to show you what's going on down here. It's gonna be a little bit dark. And underneath the porch, we're going to put 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood set over screwed in pressure treated 2x4s. And we're gonna create a support all the way through here. So the decking go up against the old decking under the sun porch to take the weight, and then we'll screw our supports into the side, and that'll carry the load. This brace is set in concrete. All the posts are set in concrete. These here are just supplemental posts that he left from the old deck. They're really not taking any load. You could knock them out of there. It's okay for them to be set on bricks. It doesn't hurt to have a little extra support, but it's not carrying the load. All this load is either back to the house or out on these outside posts where it's set in concrete. I haven't probed every one of them, but my guys will probe them to make sure they're set in concrete. Every one that I looked at appears to be set in concrete, with the exception of this one right here that the inspector noted. And I think he saw that and then just assumed the rest of them were not. Inspectors cannot dig through here and find every single thing on a house. It's just not going to happen that way. So if you look close, this one's stacked on bricks. We'll replace this post with a new 4x4 and be set in concrete like it's supposed to be. You can see the level of rot as I move back. This is actually right about here is where trying to get my bearings, right here is where the porch ends, right in here, in this zone. Past this doubled up joist, and you're into the outside deck. And here's where that real section is rotted. And you see someone came in here. It's hard to see it in the light, but you see that 2x4 right there. They tried to brace it, but all this is rotted through here. And so we're gonna have to go over. It ends somewhere past that post where they doubled it up. So it's not an easy repair. It does have to be done. And then the deck will be good as new again. So that's the beauty of it. So unfortunately, he saved some money when he built the deck. And now, 20 some years later, he's gonna have to undo it. There's various trim pieces around the house that are rotted. And it's not because he hasn't kept up. It's just, it is what it is sometimes. So here, we never pieced in a nose. So this nose across at the right side chimney needs to be replaced. The nose at the triple window here needs to be replaced. We've got the same little issue over here. This terrace window, the nose is rotted. You can see right here. And we'll replace it. So noses need to be replaced entirely. This piece right here, same thing. This is the second arch window to the left of the chimney. You got a couple rows of siding on the right side of the porch need to be replaced. I can push my finger through right here. And so again, we're only bidding those things that were called for in the amendment. And basically the amendment says repair all obvious rotted wood. So that's what we're looking for here. When we come back around this corner over here, such a beautiful lot. It's got a little bit of rot on either side of the sliding door right here. You can see it in the corner. He's got 2 rotted window sashes right here. Fortunately for him, we're the only company in Atlanta that'll fix that with real wood. Our carpenters do it every day. You don't have to, when you have a rotted window sash, you don't have to replace the window. Contractors want to sell you that because it's easier, it's more money, and they don't have to have skills, honestly. So someone's bondoed this stuff in. The problem with bondo is it's short-term fix. The wood rot, the fungi that causes wood rot is anaerobic, so once you seal it over like they did here, it gives it a Hotel 6 and it flashes. You can see this brick mold back behind here. Someone puttied it, so that's rotted through and needs to be repaired. There's just a little bit more on this side, and it seems like a lot, but this is really a huge house. So he's got the same issue. I believe this is a master bathroom window right here, and this nose is rotted all the way across. The inspectors asked for a few other things that I really can't catch in the video. On every house, there's a gap between the fascia board and the decking. In a woodsy zone like this, squirrels are gonna find it. At one point in time, there was a lake behind this house. And so river rats were a problem here, as they are in my own house. I live on a lake, and it's a pain. You can screen those things. You don't need to screen the whole roof line. He's got a little bit of issue with this chimney back here. We need to seal the cap of it with masonry cement. The main chimney on the front of the house leaked a long time ago. We'll seal the back edge of it towards the peak. And then on the inside, we will sister in some pressure treated decking and just seal that up. It got a little water damage, and the inspector noted that in the report. But homeowners always get, or potential buyers always get upset when they see an inspection report and it seems like it has so many things. This house is better built than anything you can buy today. The new construction that we see is scary. So it doesn't matter your price points either. But it's a beautiful house. The boys and I will get it fixed right. There's one section of siding, it's hard to see it. Maybe I'll try to catch it real quick. We'll come back over here. There's a little section over the back deck, and then a little bit up towards the roof line. See if I can get it from here. Maybe I can. You get to take in the views. Very, very quiet little area. Let's see here. So right here, it's hard to see it in the video, but this area underneath here, and then a few boards up on the roof line are rotted. And there's a corner board right here that's rotted. And so that's all the stuff that the guys and I will be jumping on to fix for these folks. My brother and I run a crew of nearly 30 people. We were at 30, we fired 2, so we got 28, plus he and I running around. We do everything, but please be patient with us. That's the problem. Our admin's been out for a few weeks, was hospitalized with some issues, may not be coming back to work, so we're interviewing for somebody else, but we're working too, so bear with us. You can reach us in the office at 770-912-2829, or you can catch me personally at 770-265-9017. I'm Edie. See you at the next house. Bye for now.